In the next 20 minutes, I will reveal the ancient Zen paradox that destroyed thousands of samurai warriors from the inside, and the counterintuitive protocol that saved the greatest minds of feudal Japan from complete mental collapse. This is Mushin no Shin, the mind of no mind, and it will permanently change how you understand focus, peace, and mental clarity. But I need to warn you. What you're about to learn contradicts everything modern self-improvement has taught you. Stay until the end. Your mind will never be the same. You're chasing peace like a starving man chases food. You meditate. You journal. You try breathwork, cold showers, dopamine detoxes. You consume every productivity video, every discipline protocol, every ancient wisdom breakdown. And the harder you chase that feeling of calm, that state of effortless focus you know exists, the further it runs from you. You sit down to work, and your mind is a war zone. Thoughts ricochet like bullets. Anxiety creeps in. You tell yourself, just focus. Just be present. But the command to be present destroys presence itself. You lie awake at 2 a.m., trying to force your mind to quiet down. Stop thinking. Stop thinking. Stop thinking. But each command creates another thought, another wave, another failure. You've become a prisoner of your own seeking. The more you grasp for peace, the more it dissolves in your hands like smoke. You're exhausted, burned out, mentally fragmented. You know something is fundamentally wrong with your approach. You can feel it. You're right. But 400 years ago, in the blood-soaked training halls of feudal Japan, Zen masters and samurai warriors discovered something profound. The act of seeking peace is the very thing that destroys it. This is the paradox that will set you free. Winter, 1638. Edo, Japan. Takeshi kneels in the stone courtyard of the Rinzai Zen temple, his katana resting across his thighs. Snow falls in silence. His breath creates small clouds in the frozen air. He is 24 years old. A samurai of the Tokugawa shogunate, trained since childhood in kenjutsu, the art of the sword. He has killed 7 men in combat. He does not fear death, but he fears his own mind. For 3 months, Takeshi has been losing duels. Not to superior swordsmen, but to his own spiraling thoughts. In the critical moment when steel meets steel, his mind fractures. He thinks about starts, about breathing, about winning, about not dying, about what his master will think, about. The blade cuts him before he can react. Each defeat deepens his desperation. He meditates for 6 hours a day. He practices forms until his hands bleed. He seeks that perfect state of Mushin, no mind, the legendary consciousness where thoughts disappear and action becomes pure. But the harder he seeks it, the further it runs. His master, an elderly ronin named Kenshin, watches from the temple entrance. He has seen this pattern 1,000 times. The disease of striving. The curse of grasping. Takeshi, Kenshin's voice cuts through the snowfall. Come. The master's chamber is sparse. A single candle. A scroll bearing ancient calligraphy. Tatami mats worn smooth by centuries of sitting. You seek Mushin, Kenshin says. It is not a question. Hi, master. Takeshi bows deeply. I meditate. I train. I empty my mind. But in the moment of combat, thoughts return like demons. Kenshin's eyes, sharp despite his age, study the young warrior. And what do you do with these thoughts? I fight them. Takeshi responds immediately. I force them away. I command my mind to be still. Kenshin laughs. It is not cruel. It is sad. You are trying to stop a river by standing in its path. The master stands, moving to the scroll on the wall. His finger traces the characters, Fu-Kyu, not seeking, not seeking. Tell me, Takeshi, when you hold your breath, what happens? It becomes desperate, painful. And when you release it, it flows naturally. Your mind is the same. Thoughts are the breath of consciousness. You cannot stop them by force. You cannot grasp silence. The moment you reach for peace, Kenshin's hand closes into a fist, then opens, empty. It is already gone. If you're still watching this, you're already different from 90% of people who will never understand what comes next. Takeshi feels something crack open inside his chest. Then, what do I do? You stop doing. Kenshin returns to sitting. Come, I will show you. The master places his katana on the mat between them. Strike me. Takeshi hesitates. Master, I. Strike me. Takeshi draws his blade. His mind immediately erupts. Angle of attack. Speed. His reaction. What if I hurt him? What if? His strike is slow. Clumsy. Kenshin moves aside without effort. Again. Same result. Takeshi's mind is a battlefield of calculations, fears, strategies. Again. This continues for 3 hours. Strike after strike. Failure after failure. Takeshi's arms tremble with exhaustion. Sweat soaks his hakama despite the winter cold. His mind has become so overcrowded with thought that something strange begins to happen. The thoughts remain, but they stop mattering. There is no energy left to fight them. No strength left to grasp for that perfect empty mind. He simply strikes. Thoughts appear. Thoughts dissolve. The sword moves. The blade stops 1 inch from Kenshin's throat. The master smiles. There, he whispers. Do you see? You did not seek Mushin. You did not grasp for no mind. You simply stopped resisting. And in that surrender, the mind became clear as still water. Not because it is empty, but because you stopped making ripples by reaching into it. Takeshi's hands shake. Not from fear. From recognition. This is Mushin no Shin, Kenshin says. The mind of no mind. It is not found by seeking. It is revealed by not seeking. The warrior does not fight his thoughts. He allows them to pass through him like wind through bamboo. Presence without grasping. Awareness without attachment. He places his hand on Takeshi's shoulder. The peace you seek has always been here. It is the seeking itself that hid it from you. Takeshi bows. In this moment, he understands. The answer was never in trying harder. It was in releasing the try. This is the paradox that Western psychology is only now beginning to understand. But Zen masters knew it 800 years ago. Let me break down the exact principles that will change everything for you. Principle 1. Fu Kyu, non-seeking. The fundamental error of the modern mind is this. We have been taught that achievement requires pursuit, that peace requires acquisition, that focus requires force. But consciousness does not work like physical reality. Dr. Judson Brewer, neuroscientist at Brown University, discovered something profound in his research on meditation and addiction. He found that the brain's default mode network, the region responsible for self-referential thinking, anxiety, and mind-wandering, becomes more active when we try to control it. The harder you try to stop thinking, the louder your thoughts become. Why? Because the effort to control is itself a thought, a grasping, a seeking. Fu Q means releasing the pursuit. It means understanding that peace is not a destination to reach, it is the natural state revealed when you stop running toward it. Principle 2, Mushin, no mind. This is the most misunderstood concept in Zen philosophy. Mushin does not mean having zero thoughts. It does not mean achieving some blank, empty consciousness. That's impossible. Your brain generates 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day automatically. Mushin means the mind without stickiness. Think of thoughts like clouds passing through the sky. The sky doesn't grab the clouds, doesn't push them away, doesn't identify with them. They simply pass. Most people experience thoughts like this. Thought appears, I shouldn't be thinking this, resistance, more thoughts about the thought, mental spiral, exhaustion. Mushin consciousness looks like this. Thought appears, noted, dissolves, space, next thought, noted, dissolves. No grasping, no pushing, just allowing. Neuroscience backs this up. Research in metacognition shows that decentering, observing thoughts without identifying with them, reduces anxiety by 43% and increases task performance by 28%. The samurai understood this instinctively. In combat, there is no time to argue with your thoughts. You simply act. The thoughts are there, fear, calculation, instinct, but they do not control you. Comment below, what is your biggest mental challenge right now? Are you fighting your thoughts, or allowing them? Principle 3, Fu Teiko, non-resistance. Here's where it gets interesting. The reason you can't find peace is because you're resisting the lack of peace. Read that again. You experience anxiety. Then you resist the anxiety. I shouldn't feel this way. That resistance creates a second layer of suffering. Then you resist your resistance. Why can't I just accept things? That creates a third layer. This is what Zen calls the prison of double binds. The samurai knew, what you resist, persists. What you allow, dissolves. Dr. Stephen Hayes, founder of Acceptance and Commitment Therapy, ACT, discovered this same principle through decades of clinical research. He found that experimental avoidance, the attempt to avoid uncomfortable thoughts and feelings, is the root cause of most psychological suffering. The protocol is counterintuitive. Stop fighting your distraction. Stop fighting your anxiety. Stop fighting your monkey mind. Allow it to be there. Not because you like it, but because resistance is gasoline on the fire. Principle 4. Ima, this moment only. The final piece. Your suffering exists in two places, memories of the past, projections of the future. Right now, in this exact second as you watch this, there is no problem. Your bills? Not happening right now. Your anxiety about tomorrow's presentation? Not happening right now. Your regret about yesterday? Not happening right now. The samurai lived with death 1 inch away at all times. They could not afford the luxury of past or future. Only Ima. This moment. This breath. This step. When Takeshi finally stopped seeking perfect form and simply allowed his sword to move in the present moment, without thought of victory or defeat, he became unstoppable. This is not philosophy. This is survival strategy. Modern neuroscience confirms it. The brain's prefrontal cortex, responsible for focus and emotional regulation, performs optimally when attention is anchored in present moment sensory experience, not abstract thought. These 4 principles are not separate. They are one truth expressed 4 ways. Stop seeking. Allow thoughts. Release resistance. Return to now. This is Mushin no Shin. Let me show you what this looks like in the 21st century. Like this video if you've ever felt this way. Meet James, 29 years old, software engineer at a tech startup in Austin, earns 6 figures, objectively successful. Internally, he's drowning. James wakes up at 6 a.m. with his heart already racing. Before his feet touch the floor, his mind is flooded. 47 Slack messages. 3 production bugs from last night. The product launch in 2 weeks. His manager's disappointed face during yesterday's stand-up. He tries to meditate. He's been using Headspace for 8 months. He sits on his cushion, closes his eyes, and immediately, did I respond to that email? Focus. Focus on the breath. Shit, I'm thinking again. This isn't working. Why can't I do this? Everyone says meditation helps, but 10 minutes of fighting his mind. He gives up, feeling like a failure before breakfast. Work is a war of attention. He opens his IDE to code, but his browser has 37 tabs open. He tells himself, deep focus. No distractions. He closes Twitter. 2 minutes later, he's opened it again without conscious decision. He tries the Pomodoro technique. Time blocking. Website blockers. Nothing works. The harder he forces focus, the more fragmented his attention becomes. By 3 p.m., he's had 4 coffees and accomplished maybe 2 hours of real work. He feels mentally exhausted but hasn't actually done anything. Sound familiar? Then James discovers something that changes everything. He's listening to a podcast about samurai philosophy, just background noise while cleaning, when he hears about Mushin no Shin, the mind of no mind, the paradox of seeking. At first, it sounds like mystical nonsense, but something clicks. That night, James tries an experiment. Instead of his normal meditation, fighting thoughts, trying to achieve emptiness, he does the opposite. He sits down and says, okay, mind, think whatever you want. I'm not stopping you. And his mind explodes. Work stress. Relationship anxiety. That embarrassing thing he said in 2014. Plans. Fears. Random song lyrics. Everything. But here's what's different. He doesn't fight it. Thought appears. He notices it. There's anxiety about the product launch. The thought continues. He doesn't engage. Doesn't analyze. Doesn't resist. Just watches it like watching cars pass on a highway. Slowly, imperceptibly, the thoughts begin to space out. Not because he forced them to stop, but because he stopped feeding them with resistance. The next day at work, James brings this same energy. He opens his laptop. Immediately, the urge to check Twitter. Normally, he'd either A. Give in and feel guilty, or B. Forcefully resist and create internal tension. This time, he notices the urge. There's the Twitter pull. He lets it exist. Doesn't judge it. Doesn't obey it. Just allows it to be there while he starts typing code. The urge passes. A Slack notification. The urge to check. There's the notification pull. He allows it. Keeps coding. 3 weeks of this practice, and James notices something profound. His focus hasn't improved because he's gotten better at forcing concentration. His focus has improved because he's stopped fighting distraction. The energy he used to waste on internal warfare, stop checking your phone, be present, focus, is now available for actual work. His meditation practice transforms too. He stops trying to achieve some perfect empty mind. He just sits. Thoughts come. Thoughts go. Sometimes there's peace. Sometimes there's chaos. Either way, he's not seeking anything. And in that non-seeking, he finds what he was always chasing. James didn't become superhuman. He didn't unlock some special state. He simply stopped standing in his own way. This is available to you too. But you need the protocol. I'm going to give you the exact 7-day protocol that will rewire your relationship with your mind. This is based on both Zen training methods and modern neuroscience. But understand, this is not a technique to acquire peace. It is a protocol to stop blocking peace. This next step is the most important. The Mushin no Shin protocol. Step 1. The morning allowance practice, days 1 to 7. Duration, 10 minutes each morning. Sit in a quiet space. Not to meditate, not to clear your mind, but to practice allowing. Here's exactly what you do. Close your eyes. Say internally, for the next 10 minutes, my mind has complete permission to think anything it wants. Observe what appears: anxiety, planning, memories, random thoughts. Each time you notice a thought, mentally label it thinking or planning or worrying. Do not try to stop it. Do not judge yourself. Just label and return to observing. When the 10 minutes end, open your eyes. Why it works. This practice trains metacognitive awareness, the ability to observe thoughts without identifying with them. Dr. Amish Ajah's research at University of Miami found that just 12 minutes daily of this practice increases working memory capacity by 30% and reduces mind wandering by 40%. Common pitfall: you'll want to make thoughts stop. You'll catch yourself resisting. That's perfect. That's another thing to allow. There's resistance. Label it. Allow it. Step 2. The distraction allowance, days 1 to 7. Throughout your workday, when you sit down to focus and distractions arise, and they will, use this micro-protocol. Notice the distraction urge: phone check, tab opening, mind wandering. Say internally, there's distraction. Allow the urge to exist in your awareness for 5 seconds. Do not obey it. Do not fight it. Just observe it like a curious scientist. Return to your task. Why it works. Research in urge surfing, originally developed for addiction treatment, shows that urges peak at 3 to 5 minutes then naturally decline if not acted upon. By allowing the urge without obeying, you train the brain that discomfort is survivable. Common pitfall: thinking allowing means obeying. No. You allow the urge to exist while choosing a different action. Big difference. Step 3. The seeking audit, days 2 to 7. Evening reflection, 5 minutes. Before bed, ask yourself, today, what was I seeking? Write down moments you tried to force focus, moments you resisted your current state, moments you grasped for peace, clarity, productivity. Then ask, what would have happened if I simply allowed what was already here? Why it works. This builds what psychologists call cognitive diffusion, the ability to see thoughts as mental events, not facts. Studies show this reduces rumination by 58% over 30 days. Common pitfall: using this as self-criticism. You're not judging yourself. You're just noticing patterns. Science, not shame. Step 4. The one-pointed return, days 3 to 7. Multiple times per day. Set a timer to vibrate every 90 minutes. When it goes off, stop whatever you're doing. Notice where your mind is: past, future, fantasy, task. Return attention to one physical sensation: breath in nostrils, feet on floor, hands on desk. Stay there for 3 breaths. Resume activity. Why it works. This practice, called continuous partial attention reversal, trains the brain's attention network to rapidly anchor in present moment experience. After 7 days, subjects in Stanford studies showed 45% improvement in sustained attention tasks. Common pitfall: forgetting to set the timer. Use phone alarms. Make them non-negotiable. Step 5. The paradox statement, days 4 to 7. As needed throughout day. When you catch yourself seeking peace, focus, calm, say internally, I am seeking peace. The seeking is the barrier. I release the seeking. Then return to whatever you're doing. Why it works. This is a metacognitive intervention. You're interrupting the seeking pattern at the neurological level. Dr. Jeffrey Schwartz's research at UCLA shows that consciously relabeling mental patterns creates new neural pathways in 4 to 6 days. Common pitfall: turning the statement into a mantra you repeat compulsively. That becomes another form of seeking. Use it only when you catch yourself grasping. Step 6. The daily non-goal, days 5 to 7. One activity per day. Choose one daily activity: walking, eating, washing dishes, and do it with 0 goal. Not to relax. Not to be mindful. Not to achieve anything. Just do it. Fully. Presently. When goal-oriented thoughts appear, this is helping me be more present. Notice, there's seeking. Allow. Return to the activity. Why it works. This rewires the achievement orientation that modern life has burned into your nervous system. Anthropological research shows that hunter-gatherer societies, who show virtually no anxiety disorders, engage in 60% more non-productive present-moment activities than industrial cultures. Common pitfall: doing it to practice presence. That's still a goal. Just wash the damn dishes. Step 7. The integration test, day 7. On day 7, test yourself. Face a real stressor, difficult work task, uncomfortable conversation, challenging situation. Notice what your mind does. Then ask, am I seeking a different state right now, or am I allowing this one? If seeking, label it, allow it, return to what's here. If allowing, continue. Why it works. Real integration only happens under pressure. Zen called this bringing the cushion to the battlefield. This is where you discover, you don't need perfect conditions to access Mushin. It's available in chaos too. The 7-day challenge. Here's what I want you to do. For the next 7 days, commit to this protocol. All 6 steps. Every day. If you're ready to try this 7-day challenge, comment I'm in right now. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Now. Because here's the truth, you'll never feel ready. Readiness is another form of seeking. Just begin. Let me bring this full circle. Remember Takeshi, collapsed in exhaustion in that frozen courtyard, his master's blade at his throat? In that moment, he discovered what you now know. The peace you're chasing has been here the entire time. It's not hiding. You are. Every time you reach for it, you create distance. Every time you try to grasp it, it slips through your fingers. Every time you seek the perfect mind, you fracture the one you have. This is the great paradox of human consciousness. The mind cannot see itself while searching for itself. The eye cannot see itself while trying to look inward. But when you stop, when you release the seeking, when you allow what is already here, you discover that you were never broken. You were never deficient. You were never missing anything. You were simply standing in your own way. Mushin no Shin is not a destination. It's not a state you achieve once and keep forever. It's a returning, a releasing, a remembering. Every day, you will forget. Your mind will grasp. You will seek. And every day, you will notice. Release. Allow. This is the warrior's path. Not perfection, but practice. Not control, but allowing. Not seeking, but being. The samurai understood, the greatest battle is not with external enemies. It's with the grasping mind. And the greatest victory is not in conquering, but in surrendering the war itself. Call to action. If you watch this entire video, comment done. I want to see who stayed until the end. If you're taking the 7-day Mushin no Shin challenge, comment I'm in. Let's build a community of warriors who understand this path. Like this video if the paradox of seeking resonated with you. The algorithm needs to know who's ready for real wisdom. Subscribe to the Presence Dojo for weekly breakdowns of warrior psychology, samurai philosophy, and ancient wisdom for modern mental warfare. We upload every day of week. Next week, I'm revealing Shoshin, the beginner's mind protocol that Japanese masters use to maintain peak performance for 40+ years. It's the antidote to burnout that Silicon Valley will never teach you. Until then, remember this. Stop seeking. Start allowing. Return to now. Stay present. Stay strong. OSS.